Hello and welcome to the Keystone Resources ModX training videos. These videos are for you to get acquainted with the back end of ModX on your own. In today's training, we will take a look at the back end of ModX and give an overview on what each section does and what's important and what's not important. This is not an all-inclusive list of everything in every department because that would be a much longer video, but this will at least get you on your feet and give you a general understanding. Let's begin, shall we? So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our website. Let's look at keystoneresources.com. This is the front end of a website. Now let's look at the back end. Let's go ahead and log into ModX. You're going to go up here in your address bar and you're going to type in /manager. And as you can see, it already has my information in here. We should have already provided you with this, or whoever has developed ModX for you should have provided that. If you need us at Keystone to go ahead and do that, please email us at tech@keystoneresources.com and we'll get you situated. Now, let's pretend you have that information and go ahead and log on in. Now, this is known as the back end. We already showed the front end, which is the front end of the page. It's what people will see when they actually go to your site. Right now, this is what we see. This is the front end. Awesome. This is the back end. So, here in the top left, we have the most important parts of the page, or at least I consider them to be. We have resources, which goes ahead and shows you all the different pages on your site. And then you have elements. Elements, you're really not going to touch so much. It's basically, if you're a developer, this is where you're going to go to adjust some things on the resources side. So if you're not a developer, just don't even come here. And then with files, typically you're not going to come here either. But what it is it is like its name implies, it shows you all the different files that are on your site, on your server, to be specific. So, for example, we have it set up as assets, images. Let's see what images we have in the blog. Awesome. These are all images. We know that. We can hover over them, and it will bring up what the images are. That's great and all. But for the most part, like I said, you probably won't be touching much of this. Just stay in the resources. Alrighty. This here on the right side of the page doesn't do anything much right now, but let's go ahead and click on a page. Let's click on Home. Now I'm going to give a more detailed overview on what all this stuff does later on, but this is just to get you acquainted with ModX and what to expect. This is the meat and bones of the majority of what you're going to be doing and what most of our clients and most users will deal with. Depending on your page, this content area right here is going to be what you're messing with, as well as whatever template variables there are underneath it, like this guy right here. That's a slider image. That's great. If you want to see the front end of a page, go ahead and click on View up here, and it will open on up. That's great. And yeah, this is the page we're messing with right here. Excellent. Now, up here in the taskbar, well, you're really not going to touch a lot of this either. Like, look at this search bar. You're never really going to touch it. In my 9 months of messing with ModX, I've never used it once. So, the content section, I've really never messed with this much either. We can just go ahead and skip that. The media browser, I never use. I mean, I do use it, but let's go ahead and use it just as an example. It'll show up everything underneath that files section that I was talking about earlier, except now it takes up the whole screen, and how do I get back? Well, you can click there, or you can bring this thing out, and that pushes that over there, and that's just too much for me to look at. I personally find it repugnant and do not use it. Let's go ahead and close that out. And then for extras, typically you're not going to come in here unless you're using Formit on your site and you need to change some forms. Maybe you need to change a configuration, maybe you need to change your ModX. But basically, for the most part, if you don't need to change any of that, you don't know if you need to change any of that, then just don't go in there and mess with it. Please don't. Now, manage, you may actually come here semi-frequently. The clear cache is very useful. We use it in a lot of our testing whenever we're making the websites. Sometimes things will get stuck in your cache. Well, what is cache? Cache, for a quick explanation, is stuff that's stuck in your computer's memory. So that way web pages will load faster, programs will load faster. Sometimes whenever you're changing things, it'll pull up that old info. So you're going to go ahead and just click clear cache, and it should pull this up. Sometimes it'll just pull up an error message and it'll get stuck or whatever. It's not a big deal. It won't let you click OK, whatever. Just click there. Try it again, and try it again until it finally does work. But for the most part, whenever you click Save, ModX will go ahead and clear the cache out for you anyway. So just if you're troubleshooting, go ahead and try clearing the cache for the website. Clear the cache for your browser. How do you do that? Control-Shift-Delete, and that'll bring up that right there, or it's Apple Alt Deletes. It's the Macintosh equivalent. So now, something else you can use underneath Manage is the Users function. You may use this from time to time if you have other people coming on in to update a blog for you, news articles, or just do whatever sort of work that you need to do. You can also administrate swift justice and educate with severe intolerance. Like I can take test user and I can remove all of their access permissions. Shame on them. You are no longer a super user. You are now just a member. Which, why would you want to do something like that? That kind of changes out how much they can mess with. Let's say you have an intern or someone working as a volunteer that you need to just go in, update the website, but you don't want them to delete anything or whatever. That's where you can change all that. If you made a newfound enemy of somebody, you can always go ahead and go to log out all users, and that'll log everybody out immediately. Then I would recommend going to users and changing the password or deleting their account, whatever. But typically, try not to make enemies as a general rule in life. Thank you for watching. We here at Keystone Resources are your bottom line agency, and we are also available for all your printing and digital marketing needs. If you have anything fun to say, or clever, or constructive, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Click like or subscribe to stay tuned for more instructional videos about ModX and how to get the most out of it. Thank you.